And Pacific here on campus as well, rated one of the top 5 most beautiful campuses in the entire country. And just looking around today, I would have to agree.
Yeah, it is. There's some beautiful parks in the area, a great campus, and they get a great crowd here as well. They have dominated in Big West attendance, over 3,500 per game.
It's #1 in the Big West over the last 4 years. No bucket, but Tyrone Watson, who has just recently checked into the game for New Mexico State, will have a couple coming from the free throw line. 6'5" redshirt freshman out of Canada. 2 Canadian players on this New Mexico State team, and the connection there, one of the assistants for the Aggies, Paul Weir, is a Canadian and is a major recruiter up in those parts.
Yeah, you know, you see more and more programs looking to the international players, and great additions to the teams. Right now for Pacific, it's the interior play. New Mexico State has just been attacking in the paint, and they have been controlling the paint for the defense for Pacific. The help side, the rotation, if they're going to stay in the man-to-man, it's got to be there.
New Mexico State right back into that trap. Pacific has handled it pretty well so far, but trailing by 1 as we approach the halfway point of the first half.
See, Pacific on a bit of a drought. They have not connected on a field goal in over 5 minutes.
Nika Williams with the kick out. And Alan Huddleston, freshman into the lineup, misses the 3. The 3 this time, though, by Jonathan Gibson. Already with 7 points in the game.
Shoots it 40% behind the arc. This team averages almost 9 threes per game.
Picks up the personal. And a lot of guys who play a lot of minutes for this New Mexico State team. Gibson around 32 per game, and the leading scorer Jamar Young about 35. That's another difference between these two teams. About a 7 or an 8-man rotation for New Mexico State, especially on the road because they only send 12 guys.
Yeah, the Aggies with 5 players averaging double figures, and we mentioned earlier Willard for Pacific, the only one averaging 10 per game, but they do have scoring balance.
A quick 3 from Royal Edwards. Another guy who hasn't gotten much playing time because he hasn't been healthy. Just his 4th game since the start of Big West play. Comes in only averaging about 4 minutes and 2 points per game.
Coach Thomason was talking very highly about him today at practice and the fact that he's going to get some more minutes.
Off the Young miss, the other Young, Demetrius, will push for Pacific. Looking low post for Willard, gets trapped and turns it over. Fast break opportunity for New Mexico. A dangerous pass is intercepted, and a breakaway for Demetrius Young, lays it up and in.
Pacific needed that. They needed a defensive stop, a couple of possessions down. Now they've been trapped and thrown it into the turnover for New Mexico State, but the Aggies haven't taken advantage.
And we're on the seesaw here in the first half. Pacific back up by 1. Crowd has been into it from the start. They are handing out white t-shirts all this afternoon and this evening here in the Alex G. Spanos Center. The line about halfway around the building on the concourse waiting for those t-shirts. Young misses the 3, but an offensive rebound for the Aggies.
And Bob Thomason up for Pacific, not happy with that. He said rebounding was key.
Big block by Sam Willard and another fast break. Up and count the bucket, goaltending, and it'll go to LeVar Newville, his first 2 points of the game.
College, he was a starter early. He's taken a different role, and he's accepted that role coming in off the bench.
You want evidence of that acceptance of the new role? Usually you don't hear that very much of guys who don't like coming off the bench. Well, he had a game this year off the bench against Cal State Bakersfield, 9 assists and 0 turnovers.
Really impressive. Great numbers, great leadership, and that's not easy to do.
Pacific up 3 with a chance to extend its lead, but another turnover. Uncharacteristic, they only come in averaging about 11 per game. That's top 20 in the nation. And Gordo Castillo makes them pay. New Rouville has it again. Jump stop into the lane and gets the roll. 4 points for him quickly off the bench. Mentioned all his passing. Hey, he can score too. He's at a season average already of 4 points per game. Another media timeout with Pacific leading by 2. Pacific with a 2-point lead with about 7 and change left in the first half. And Krista, the Tigers are a team that really takes good care of the ball. They don't turn the ball over that much. But this trap from New Mexico State really seems to be bothering them a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. They only average 11 turnovers per game. And Bob Thomason, you know, he said they're very athletic. We have to stay aggressive and in our system. And his defense has to rotate over and has to get the rebound. They get one there.
Rahman misses. The Tigers again looking to push. Young is hot early. Another 3. His third 3 here in the first half, and he is already in double figures with 11.
That is one way to break that press, that trap on the zone. Take the shot before they get set up.
Just 5'11", but he's had 11 games, well now 12 of double-digit scoring. Out of bounds back to the Tigers.
Pacific has definitely kicked up their defense a notch, and it's causing some problems for New Mexico State. It's allowed them to get out and push the tempo a bit and find some open teammates. Demetrius Young connecting, wide open.
Shooting 40% from beyond the arc in conference play heading into this non-conference bracket busters matchup. And it's a 12-3 run for the Tigers after New Mexico State ripped off a 10-0 run of their own. The lob is a little bit off the mark, and in transition, fans wanted to travel but don't get it. Young missed the layup. Knocked out of bounds, Tigers will keep it.
The tempo is picking up, and Bob Thomason told us, you know, he said, we're fine running. We like to try to force the turnovers, get out on the break, but we want to do it at our pace. We don't want to get into Marvin Mincy's system. They will push every single time down.
It's a Pacific team who came into the year with 9 newcomers, as another 3, this time by Edwards, can't get it. And we've seen pretty good poise, at least, considering all the newcomers on this team. But again, at this point, how much of that is really a factor? Offensive foul back to Pacific, and the fans like it. Gonna go against Jamar Young.
Mexico State not happy about it, but I think Pacific's chemistry has gotten better and better. And here we see Jamar Young just swat with the left hand.
Went over to his head coach, Marvin Menzies, looking for a little bit of help on the call, and he didn't seem to get it.
No. But yeah, Steve, you were talking earlier about Pacific. They are young. They've got some transfer players that have come in, some new faces, but the chemistry has been working very well for this team. This is a team that had 21 wins last season, and a lot of new faces.
Came into this season off of a year where they lost the Big West Championship to Cal State Northridge, a game away from the NCAA tournament. Big part of what we're talking about, Krista, sorry not to interrupt you, but that balance on offense.
You're right, right there you'll see they have multiple scorers, not one major standout, but a lot of guys who can hurt you, and that's a plus. Bob Thomason told us, he said, you never know which guy is going to have that big game for us, and makes it very difficult to match up against his team.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? A lot of teams like to know who they're going to get their scoring from.
You know, I think it's a good thing. I really do, because sometimes you're just going to have that off night, and I think it's a very good thing in that anybody can step up for you.
Quick trigger from Castillo. Demetrius Young at 5'11", skies for the rebound. They'll work it around. Evelyn has it. Coming off a game where he was 5 for 5 from beyond the arc. But another 3 from Demetrius Young. 14. And his 4th 3 in the first half.
Some nights you are just feeling it.
And a foul underneath.